Alrighty folks, welcome back to another episode of my Jerusalem playthrough here where we're trying to mincemeat Ming and reduce them to nothing. 2 years remaining on our truce with the Commonwealth. And I think he is going to be 100%able, but I will have to share him between myself and Kiev. I suspect that's the plan. Speaking of Kiev, we just fed him here, so hopefully he's dealt with that coring in, over the course of that next 2 years, but I think so. Now I came to a realization, guys. I'm dumb here. I'm dumb in the final hours of this campaign. We're going to try to resolve that, but yeah, because somebody commented, why don't I, in this circumstance, I'm waiting for a stupid emissary to return, but in this circumstance where I have wrecked Ming, and I'm waiting for stuff to core up, instead of piecing out Ming, right, by attacking somebody, we should attack him before the war is over, attack another nation before the war is over. And I think in most circumstances, god dang it, Bengal taking a huge chunk of land there and expanding, I don't like to see that. That's going to work out just fine. It's going to be very wise and successful. That idea, instead of momentarily being at war with Ming when I don't intend to be. So the question is now, who are we going to attack? We have a lot of options. Ideally, let me think. I hate waiting for core, man. It's so irritating. We want to be attacking somebody who we can 100% overextend into, right? So let's do him. But we do want to deal with Ming quickly. So we can separate piece Delhi quickly as well, or alternatively we can take him from this piece out. But let's go for Ming's capital. Oh man, there's a little noise. There was a little noise that I was like, what is that? I was wondering if it was being picked up on my microphone. But it's all good. It's just dripping, apparently, because it's raining outside. Alright, so I want to manually convert this island. Badly. And hopefully not forget about it this time. So theoretically, let's blockade Ming. Theoretically, we could take some land from Ming from this war, because we're not overextended, right? And we've barely progressed at all. But what people were saying is, in this circumstance, imagine I didn't overextend. I should attack somebody else like this. Ming can't back them up, then separate piece Ming. Which, yeah, seems smarter. Seems like it would work out just fine. Okay, so it's just about peaceable. So we certainly do this quickly. It doesn't take long, that's a good thing. So my so far this is the second time we've done this, I suppose, is not too much of a huge big deal. What I'm going to do this time is wait a bit here, and then go in. Okay, he retreated already. Raid some fools, mahaha. Alrighty, just making those general occupations. And now I should already be doing this. You dummy. Let's go fight this guy. Let's have a look at what 100% overextension looks like here. Now I was thinking about making another client state just for the purposes of helping us core land. You guys know how it is when you spawn one in, they're pretty weak and it takes a while to get them rolling, so it's really not going to do that much for us initially. Damn, that's 99%. Now I intend to take this as well, which is probably really high development, fairly high. So this is going to be a bit smaller, but that's not bad. A big chunk of the world. Now here's the thing. A lot of the wealth going up into Russia, we're not actually utilizing. So, you know, unsurprisingly. So what I could do is release somebody here in Samarkand. I've sort of got the areas and the trading region to where I took that. Our options are to give it to Kiev. Maybe I should just do that. Maybe we should just give it to Kiev. But as you can see, he still hasn't even caught up his own territory after all this time. I mean, we released Kiev not that long after client states were available, right? I don't think so. So this is a pretty good indication because we gave him a lot of land that we already owned, and throughout the course of this time, we have caught up territory for him, right? It's a pretty good indication of how slow client states get rolling. They are just really, really slow, but there's probably quite some tricks of the trade and better ways to utilize them. The main bulk of my sort of experience, I suppose, in this game has been often during the early stage of the game. That's right. I think Canton is giving us a merchant, right? Jeez, I don't know where he's at. Ah, this is so tedious when you have so many subjects looking through them all. West Indian. Coromandel. I think this is Coromandel, isn't it? It's pretty inconsequential to even care about merchants, but I could focus my converting down there. Okay, let's use our 6 maneuver guy there so that we get there that much sooner. His armies are pretty small, that's good to see. People telling me to take up my Diplo because it reduces Liberty Desire. I am aware of that. I am. And we'll go ahead and do it for negative 10%. that's one of those things that is, neither a priority, because we're so rich, but at the same time, it's a bit of a defeatist mentality, like, well, that looks nice. That looks real nice. I bet I could give some of this off to Kiev. I bet I could. Can we afford the full annexation? Yeah. Why don't we just do it? We could probably give enough off to Kiev. That's much more satisfying. Huge area geographically. We're going for the full annexation there. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we don't necessarily need to do, and here I am developing my land. My Diplo points. When it's probably going to give us much more money to just make my client states happy. I was also wondering, maybe I made a mistake. Okay, it looks like a lot of the unrest in Japan went away now with revolutionaries. I was wondering maybe if I waited a month before releasing Japan that he would lose some of his issues that he's got going on, like the desire for, what's it called? Desire for liberty? Is that what the revolutionist modifier is? Aspirations for liberty. I don't know. If you wait a month, a lot of modifiers like that disappear because the tag is eliminated and then sort of respawns in. Like, for example, if a nation like Lithuania has the mission to conquer the Livonian Order, right, they will have permanent claims there. But if you eliminate them from the game, they will lose that if they are like eliminated. But for some reason, very often, if a nation is eliminated and then you release them immediately without a month ticking by, they're not technically eliminated, if that makes sense. From the game's perspective, they don't update them. They remain. Okay, I am manually doing. No, I'm not manually, but I am converting that one up. Let's do the centers, and that should be pretty much all that I have to do there. I'm gonna start wondering if it's gonna be smarter to protect trade with my navy elsewhere as well. Okay, so he's got a fort there. I didn't quite realize that. Let's rush up and deal with that one as well. Oh, I got an achievement. Industrial powerhouse. Probably something to do with coal. Stupid OBS settings, man. It's weird how they sort of change over time. Like, I don't do much, but then I bump into issues and then I do something. But I had the perfect storm, I swear, with OBS. I had the perfect storm where pop-ups would show, but it was only the pop-ups that I wanted. And, kind of took it for granted. And it's gone now. Typical. But I don't know exactly, because there's infinite number of things that you could know. I don't know exactly what it is that I need to address in that regard, just off the top of my head. Guys, let me ask you something. Those of you who watch this, would you guys be interested in watching other games? Because I think you would be. That's my opinion. I know a lot of you are going to say yes, a lot of the people who comment and so on. But it has to be the precise game, I swear. It has to be a very wisely selected game. No, but I saw on Steam a game called, I think it's called Age of Gladiators, something like that, and it looked awesome. But it's mostly like governing menus, it looks like. But it's like according to the game, it's a sim, but it's a RPG management game where you play as a coach, essentially. I don't know what the appropriate term would be for Roman gladiators, but it looks really cool. But it's like an indie game as well, though, so I know some people will be turned off immediately. But honestly, I feel like that's what the stream dream is for, eventually. Eventually expanding to like other things, or on occasion, you know? Because it's much more enjoyable in person, in my opinion. The stream dream, which will one day be a reality, hopefully soon, hopefully before the end of this year, I hope. Stupid guy running all the way out there. Just get somebody to deal with that. For level 2. Should fall quickly. Yeah. I don't know if that was manual or not, but I really want to deal with the heathens in North Africa, which are pretty much the only heathens. Sneasels on the African continent. It's early in the morning here, and I had coffee. For some reason, those things make me sneeze. Early in the morning coffee, sneezing. So how's our coring progress? We got ages. We are trying to 100% this dude. I'm about to land eventually. There we go. On this fort. Let's assault it. Artillery barraged. Itself siege general level 3. Let's send him over as well. And our ally is doing a pretty good job of just nonchalantly sieging down his provinces. I like that. Oh, I didn't do that one. Down here in Ceylon. Somewhere around here there's dry lands. Let's walk out there, because inevitably at this rate we're going to have rebels again in that area of the world. Let's take one of these stacks out of Japan, or maybe both of them. It's got some epic unrest there. The plan was for Japan to be more stable, but if he's trying to go revolutionary or whatever, then maybe he's not more stable than myself owning the provinces. We could definitely give him Korea. I'm sure that he wants some of it, and there's no harm in doing that. I bet Korea in that case can be fully annexed, regardless of how much they sort of they cost. So Ming is breaking. He's Ming-ploding. Unfortunately, a lot of these rebels, might walk across to my board and then become my problem. I'm not sure what to do about that. I think in this circumstance, I'm just going to kill them though. I'm trying to core up here. Because ultimately it's just going to slow me down, I think. But yeah, if a nation defects from Ming, they won't be a tributary either. So that would be cool. We could just go in against them. Forgot about this navy. Navy should heal up, repair, and stop hurting our sailors per month, I guess. The Commonwealth. We should have PDU'd this guy. Do you guys remember? We should have PU'd him as well as everybody else. We should have PU'd him. Feels bad, man. We wouldn't have had to fight any of these wars against the Commonwealth. If only Henricus had passed away, you noob, Henricus. Typical. Monthly war exhaustion reduction, which is superb from innovative ideas. Because my manpower is so high, it allows me to be very sloppy and not even care about attrition and so on at this stage of the game, which is great. Yeah, I think this, hopefully Japan's stable now. They're definitely stable until the next time the revolt comes around. But I'm going to move along with my troops there. Okay, let's do this one. Convert that one up. Pretty much waiting on this siege here, but we've got all the time in the world. We're doing really well. I'm going to take manpower recovery speed, and I'm going to hire more troops. Alright, there we go. So let's just kind of carpet siege everything in the meantime. I say kind of carpet siege all the time. It's not carpet sieging at all, but you guys know what I mean. Split my troops up, siege down different areas. Civil War, eh? I could finish innovative ideas. We could take the siege ability. Even siege ability at this stage of the game, though, is not that crazy. Bengal, there are a few nations that do have really high level forts. I mean, we are coming to the sort of final twilight hours of this campaign, and that siege ability is... It's something. It's something it's not worth overlooking, in my opinion. I'm talking about the policy, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. We primarily have been working on this to grab a policy that increases our morale of armies and our siege ability. Huh? Could have sworn I just said go to and okay. Somewhere less important, apparently, I suppose. There. Get rid of those rebels. Now, how are we looking? Because we don't have much time remaining. Trying to get this full annexation. There we go. Another merchant available. And let's go ahead and throw him down somewhere in the New World. So there's a lot of wealth here in going to Lebec. That looks like it's smart. To Bordeaux. We're sending all of that to Bordeaux still. There's like 50 ducats here. We could gain the majority of that by just chucking a dude in there. So, yeah. It all ends up going to Genoa, dude. Look at that. Genoa's a beast. A beast. Over 1,000 ducats there, and we get 100% of it. Cool. Let's have a look at our income really quickly. Wow. Look at that. Trade is above and beyond. I really like that, man. It took a while for me to kind of learn that, but basically your tax is like your highest in the beginning of the game when you're poor in the beginning of the game, and tax is something that will always increase, obviously. But I remember being a noob at this game, and your production is always lower than your tax, basically. But if you work on the right provinces, and primarily workshops, counting houses, and manufacturers in the right locations, and then when you have development available, this was the worst game ever, basically, to kind of represent that. But when you develop those appropriate locations where you've prepped them with those buildings, your production ends up going through the absolute roof by the end of the game. See, I hope like that Min separatist doesn't walk onto our territory. And of course trade grows massively as well. But it depends where you are. Like if you were England in the English Channel, your trade could be so much greater than ours was at such an earlier stage. And same goes for if you're playing like the Papal State, which I mentioned not too long ago in another episode. One of the benefits of being the Papal State is that you collect in Genoa, and like I said, you can go colonial or whatever. But very often your trade can be weak. But inevitably it will be strong when you own the whole world. Okay, 94%, that looks pretty good. And he'll accept it, great. Great. So we did that, no problem. Now, how's our truce with the Commonwealth? It's come up, has it? Cool. So do we go in against the Commonwealth? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what we'll do, because we caught everything up, we'll go back in against Ming. And then we'll just, in our next war, waiting to caught up Ming's provinces, we'll go in against the Commonwealth. Because there's much more a sort of a time constraint in regards to Ming. Whereas the Commonwealth would just be eliminated if we went in. Okay, now these unfortunately are not all exactly the same time because the rebels did deter them a little bit, but not long, thankfully. Yeah, so huge amount of money there going into the English Channel now. You know, I'm so dumb, guys. Sometimes I'm so dumb. I was actually embarrassed to even admit this when I realized. But if you guys recall, you know, it's just an honest mistake or whatever. But if you guys recall, I was looking at the cultural acceptance of Austria. And of course, he's a personal union. So he's able to go empire rank as a personal union. But for some reason, my dumb brains, I was thinking that he was a client state, which he's not. I don't know why I was thinking that. But yeah, I was interested if a client state can become empire government rank. But with this much time passed, I think it's quite apparent that they cannot as a subject. As Kiev would have done it, right? Kiev is over 1,000 development now, I would suggest. Yeah, so that was foolish of me. Okay, now that these are caught up around here, I might be willing to let the rebels walk around a little bit on my territory. Nice, get deadified. Get deaded upon. So, everybody's favorite thing we're going to do here in a moment. And that's going to be handing provinces off to Kiev. Everybody's favorite thing, right guys? He gets all of Samarkand anyway. Why don't we just give it to him? These will start with K. Oh, jeez. Okay. With a U on the end, SU, yep. Isn't it interesting how, nice, he fully accepts this Nogai stuff. Isn't it interesting how EU4 is so new, early game oriented? I think it is. Like, there's so many features and so on that are only available at later stages of the game, don't get me wrong. But I mean in terms of sort of enjoyment. I know I'm not the only person who feels that way. Like, defeating, for example, the Ottomans as Byzantium is very enjoyable. And just being like, aha, we did it, and the potential that we have going into the future. But very often, when you sort of start to do that, and it becomes apparent, oh, like we are the new Ottomans, except cooler because we're not. Then it's like, yeah, you feel in a way like you don't have to. It's going to play itself out. If you have a lot of experience in the game, in particular, you know how it's going to play itself out. Hugh Karashi, that's it. Oh, there's a lot of promises to go, but that's the price we pay, guys, for the pretty borders. I'm gonna give him these 2 trading regions as the plan, but I know I'm gonna have to call some of this up myself. I'm gonna give him as much as he will take, though, in terms of overextension. Ara, here we go. It's interesting to see the name changes there in this area of the world. When we give the provinces over. Okay, so we're giving him some overextension, that's fine. Yeah, and for those of you, I know some of you talk about like, oh, can you fast forward this stuff and so on. That's always been the case. It's not just a recent thing. And my response has always been like, if you don't enjoy the slow-paced gameplay, guys, then I guess it's just not for you, because it would sort of make the workload go through the roof. Like, let's put it this way: I potentially could edit all of these videos and speed it up and do it in a very deliberate manner so that it's only certain things like you're not really missing out. I could improve the quality, but it's just simply not worth the workload for me, guys. I'm sorry to say. I would spend so much time and focus on that as well as everything else that I have to do. Like my spare time and focus would be focused on that. If I was getting, I mean, let's put it this way: if it was my career, then I'd be kind of happy to. I imagine if like this game was my career, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'd put as much into it as I could. But let's be honest, like, who's really in that position? That would be a very luxurious position. Even some of the higher, most popular sort of YouTubers or whatever that do Let's Plays, it's not necessarily the late hours of like a long series that is really bringing the big bucks, and if you see what I'm saying, like providing. And the other thing, of course, is the dream would be to ultimately be so big that it's just not a one-man operation either, but all of that stuff is just fantasizing at this stage, isn't it? Although I do have an awesome guy who makes thumbnails for me, because he's a legend. Is that the right place? Yes, okay. Alright, so we gave him all the old stuff and a little bit of new stuff. Let's continue giving him new stuff until he's up to the brim in terms of overextension. I am sort of taking areas into consideration just for the heck of it. Let's give him Hobo. $88. Z should be right there. 91. 97. That's all we're going to be able to give him. Alright, so I imagine that we're not overextended. Great. Okay. Cool. Well, Kavanian Rus has expanded. And he'll continue. Oh, just don't unpause the game, dude. Core the stuff up. Many of which we're calling up for him, of course. Okay. Good stuff. Now, Ming, we're waiting for this one to finish. And so, let me think just for a second. We want to attack a tributary who, combined with Ming, we're 100% overextending or near it. Is Flanders still in the game? They are. Forgot about them. We couldn't 100% him, I suppose. Where's his capital at? Right there. So I guess he doesn't have much more than that going on right nowadays, huh? Okay, yeah, so I'll think about it in between episodes who the appropriate tributary is, because the thing is, we'll get truce with them, right? But we want to take a chunk out of them so that when we take as much as we can out of Ming, we're right at about 100%. So I'm waiting for this to core because it's inconsequential. And then back to war we go. But that's going to be next episode. So in the meantime, trying to kill these rebels, begin calling up these provinces. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed though. Thanks for watching. We're definitely getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. We've been in this position before, taking out Ming and taking out other big chunks of the world as well. Gonna give Kiev a little bit of time. You know, he just finished calling up this stuff and he's calling up this stuff now. But we will, within a few wars' time, going against the Commonwealth 100% him. The idea there is to, we might be overextended, but the idea is to push both Kiev and myself to the limits, to the brim there, and hope that we're kind of not overextended. But either way, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time where we're going to attack another Ming tributary and separate Priest Ming at 100%, which is always fun. See you then.